Hello, so this is the part 2, the second video on geometric sequences and series, and basically we're going to work on more questions from this topic. So, question 7. Three consecutive terms of a geometric progression are x, 4, and x plus 6. Find the possible values of x. So we have the first three terms. We have x, which is a, ar, which is the second term. So I'm just going to write it as t1 is equal to x, t2 is equal to 4, and t3, the third term, is given to be x plus 6. So it says three consecutive terms. So don't worry, it could be tn, tn plus 1, tn plus 2, where n is anything. So just three consecutive terms. And it says, find the possible values of x. Well, I know that because these terms are consecutive, 4 divided by x is going to give me my common ratio, right? Because these are consecutive terms. So tn plus 1 divided by tn is going to be r. And similarly, x plus 6 divided by 4 is going to be r. So I can compare these two because r is the same thing as r. 4 over x is equal to x plus 6 divided by 4. Now, if I multiply by 4 on both sides, I get 16 divided by x is equal to x plus 6, right? Because the 4 will cancel out in the denominator of the right-hand side. And if I multiply by x on both sides, multiply by x, then the x's will cancel out in the denominator. So I get 16 is equal to x squared plus 6x. And this is a quadratic equation. So I have x squared plus 6x minus 16 equal to 0. So now I just need to solve for x. And if I factorize this, you can use the quadratic formula, but let me think of factorizing. So this is called the sum and product method. So I need two numbers. The sum is going to be 6. The product is going to be negative 16. And I can think of two such numbers, 8 and negative 2, right? 8 plus minus 2 is 8 minus 2 is 6, and the product is negative 16. So x, if it's positive 8, you're going to write it as x minus 8. And if it's negative 2, you're going to have x plus 2, because minus from minus is going to be plus. So these are the values. So you can use the quadratic equation, you can use factorization, you can use whatever method you're familiar with, but this is the factorization that you're going to get. Sorry, it's going to be plus 8x minus 2x. My bad. This is what you get when you factorize. And you can check. X squared minus 2x plus 8x. That is plus 6x minus 16. So you want to expand it out and check. So you get this. That is the factorization. Please forgive my earlier mistake. And now you get that x is equal to positive 2. You set this to be 0, you get x is plus 2. Or you set this to be 0 and you get x is negative 8. So these are the possible values of x. 2 and negative 8. Alright, so we're done with question 7. So it says question 8. So we're going to be doing, I'll actually skip A. So I'll let you try A on your own. So we're going to do B, we're going to do C, and I'll let you try D on your own. So 8B. 8B, we know the first term is 1 to 8, right? And the common ratio is going to be, so I'm just going to divide the second term by the first term. So 64 divided by 1 to 8, that is half. So now I want to find the sum of the first 8 terms, I believe. Yes. So sum of the first 8 terms, well, if you remember the formula, that is r to the power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. So a is just 128. R is 0.5, which is half, right? To the power n, we know n is 8. Minus 1 divided by 0.5 minus 1. All right. So now we need to simplify this. So I believe you are allowed to use your calculator for this one. And when you simplify, you get 255. That is your answer. So you just want to use your calculator to simplify 8b. Let's do 8c. So your a is just 1, right? And your common ratio, r, is negative 2 divided by 1. So how do you want to think of this? Well, this is just plus of minus 2 plus 4 plus of minus 8. So that's why plus minus was giving you minus here, right? So it's basically the common ratio is just negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 1 is negative 2. So r is negative 2. And we just want to repeat. S of 8 is going to be a r to the power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. So 1 times anything is just r, the whole same thing. So you have negative 2 to the power 8. Remember, r, you have to put it in brackets here. Minus 1 divided by negative 2 minus 1. So negative 2 to the power 8 minus 1. I believe that is power 8. Negative 2 to the power 8 is 256 minus 1 is 255 divided by minus 3. So you get negative 85. That is your answer if you use your calculator. So that is how you do question 8. All right, moving on. It says the first 4 terms of a geometric progression are, so I'm given a is 0.5, and I can calculate r from this one. So 0.5 times what number will give me 1? Well, that is 2, right? And then basically I can see that my terms are being multiplied by 2. So I know my common ratio is 2. So find the smallest number of terms that will give a sum greater than this number. I believe is 1 million. So we want to find, let's just say the sum of my n terms, let me say that it's equal to 1 million. And we know the formula for this one. That is a 0.5 times 2 to the power n minus 1 divided by 2 minus 1, right? r minus 1 is just 2 minus 1, which is just 1. So 0.5 times 2 to the power n minus 1 has to be equal to 1 million. And if you multiply by 2 on both sides, you will see that because 0.5 is 1 over 2, so these are going to cancel out. So 2 to the power 1 minus 1, n minus 1 is 2 million. And 2 to the power n is equal to 2 million and 1. And we are familiar with how to solve these questions. If I take the natural log of both sides, right? If I take the natural log of both sides, I get n ln 2 is equal to ln 2 million and 1. And this is what we have been doing from the first chapter. So therefore, n is equal to ln 2 million and 1. So I call the natural log as ln, but you are free to call it however you want. So ln 2 million divided by ln 2 is 20.9 something. So if 20.9 something terms is giving me a sum that is exactly this, then taking the sum of 21 terms must exceed 1 million, right? So 20.9 terms is giving me exactly a sum of 1 million. So if I add the 21st term, well, that's definitely going to take me over 1 million. And remember, all of the terms are increasing. So 21 is your answer. N is equal to 21. So your terms are increasing. So we don't have to really worry about like negative numbers or anything. Your terms are increasing. 20.9 the terms exactly give you 1 million. So 21st term will obviously give you a sum that is greater than 1 million. All right. A ball is thrown vertically upwards from the ground. The ball rises to a height of 8 meters and then falls and bounces.